This podcast is brought to you by Balancing Act. Teach, coach, mentor, inspire. A collection of candid observations on the challenges facing business leaders today. Balancing Act is authored by Dr. Andrew Temte and is available today on Amazon and other fine bookstores. We chatted beer with Doug Irwin of Island City Brewing in Winona, Minnesota. We talk about beginnings, the process of brewing and creating new beers, COVID in the business, and what's coming up for Island City Brewing. You can find more conversations, food reviews, live music, and events on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is Lacrosse Local.
I'm Doug Irwin. I was born in Wisconsin, northern Wisconsin, moved to the Green Bay area. As a kid, moved out to Winona for college, stayed in town here, and then shortly after getting out of college, met some guys who were in brewing beer at home and started brewing with them. Really liked it. Number one, as a college student or just out of college, it's a cheap way to make good beer. You get your bottles for something like 50 cents to $1 a bottle, which when you're looking for, IPAs or heavy beers, that's a pretty good rate. But then also, I just like creating stuff. I always liked, cooking food for people as a kid, as a high schooler, college student, even now. And beer is one of those things too. Not everybody knows how to make it. So when you can make beer and bring it to your, family events or your buddy's house, it's a cool thing to be able to show off. The other thing I like about making beer is just the fact that it is so diverse with styles and tastes. You can usually find something that everybody likes.
Going from that kind of background of home brewing scene, what led to the creation of Island City Brewing? Like, what was that process like going from the, kind of the beginnings to this brewery?
I'm not even actually the guy to answer that. I came into this brewery about 9 months after they opened the doors. So there were, two other guys that started the company, got their funding together, had to, get their licensing set up in the city, get their licensing set up through the state and the federal entities. So they did a lot of the footwork. When I came in, I started at sales, and there was, there's some circumstances that needed to be straightened out with the guys who created it and the board, and things were not going super smoothly. So I found myself in a position where I could help take over some of the stuff, and now here we are. What is it? 4 years later, we're still going. So we were able to smooth it out. But yeah, I wasn't here for the creation of it, but I do remember having conversations with buddies in town about, hey, wouldn't it be cool if there was a brewery in Winona? And there were guys already starting it. So that was cool. And now it's kind of crazy to find myself in this position where I'm running a brewery. The right amount of circumstances got me here,
For Island City Brewing, how does your beer kind of stand apart? What's the process like when you're creating a new beverage?
Sure. So one of the things we really pride ourselves on, that I pride us on, is that we have a beer for everybody. And so what we don't want is, we don't want to be the brewery that has 12 IPAs and then maybe a stout, We want to have something for the masses. So when people come in and say, hey, I only drink light beer, we have that. If someone comes in and goes, I love hops, we have that. We have our dark beer, we have our sour beer, we have our beers in between. And so when I'm looking at our menu, I want to make sure that there's something, for everybody. And what I really love doing is when I'm working behind the bar and we get those groups of people who come in and go, hey, this person over here doesn't even drink beer, they drink wine. What do you have? And we'll find something.
What are some of your favorite beers that you guys are working on right now? I mean, do you have a rotating sort of arsenal of different ones that come and go, or do you have some staples?
Yeah, so we definitely have some staples, and those are just, beers that we made maybe as a pilot or maybe as a one-off, and they just went really well. We either, sell out really fast, or we have a lot of customers asking for them. So we've got stuff that have been around since day one. We've tweaked recipes and changed them up a little bit as we learn, but we've got a solid red lager that's been here since opening day, and a really solid sour beer that's been here since opening day. Our double IPA has been around since probably 6 months from when we opened. So we have those, but then my job, my head brewer makes all the big batches here. My job is to brew the pilot batches. So those are only 30-gallon batches. So I get to do some of the crazy stuff that we're not really settled on making, or ideas that we might have. And those have been taking off really well too. And that allows us the flexibility to pump out more different beers more consistently. Yeah, I would say I don't really have a favorite beer that we make. I like to tell people that it's that beer drinking for me is very situational. So if I'm working hard and it's a hot day, I'm drinking a light beer. If I'm relaxing for the night, probably drinking a double IPA. When it's cold outside, I'm drinking more stouts. It's very situational for me, and that's, again, a thing that I like about beers. It's very diverse, and so I like beer, and I like switching it up all the time.
You're talking about people coming in and trying the various beers, but you also have non-alcoholic drinks available, everything from kombucha to your standard sodas. Do you guys create your own hard seltzers?
Yeah, we did just get into that about a year ago, right as, seltzers are flooding the market. That was something that, we wanted to make, but we wanted to make sure that we knew what we were doing first, because we brew in a relatively large system for a town this size. So to make 500 gallons of something, you want to have some confidence behind that. So we did a lot of research, we found a lot of articles, we put together a plan, said, hey, this could work. We made it, and I thought it went really well. It gives a gluten-free option for people. Here's a really, really light option for people, and then it also is just a different offering for us to have.
The fun question, this past year has just been, devastating for businesses. How did COVID affect your business?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, obviously, I think like a lot of other people, when we were first shut down, St. Patrick's Day, we didn't really know what to do. Everybody except for myself and my head brewer was laid off as we tried to figure it out. But what really happened is just took a lot of flexibility. And I think for us and possibly other businesses that I see in the community, it kind of changed your focus. And so for us specifically, when things started opening back up and we could serve outside, we put a lot of money and time into our outdoor area. So now our parking lot out front, instead of being a parking lot, we have about 30 picnic tables, and we have a tent, and we've got staging out there because people are still more comfortable being outside. But this is something that we maybe didn't focus on before that we should have, but it forced us to create that outdoor area. And it's really helped our business now that we have opened back up. So yeah, it was a very interesting move for us and time for us to kind of navigate.
Yeah, it seems kind of interesting, the stories I've heard of related to COVID and how businesses have pivoted. And sometimes it's been, of course, devastating, but sometimes for the better. Businesses are opening up, restrictions kind of lessening. What's coming up for the brewery through 2021, even 2022? What are you excited about?
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what we can do with our new space, essentially. We actually just are in the process of opening an outside bar. So I bought a big storage container, insulated it, because we're making so much more beer now that we need more cold storage. So I'm storing cold beer out there, but I also turned it into an outside bar. One of the things we found out, after COVID, after people started coming back out, is with our added space outside, we only had one service spot for beer. So our bottleneck was how fast we could serve beer. So now we need to serve beer faster. I'm making a way to do that. We're creating this outside patio downtown Winona. And I'm just excited to see, us move forward as a premier spot to hang out outside. So I'm really excited for the shows that we can do out there, for the community that we can build in downtown Winona, and see where that takes us.
You guys do have a premium location there to be outdoors. So if people want to find out more, stop down for a beer, even if they don't live in Winona, maybe want to come down the Great River Road, where's the best avenue to find out more information?
Yeah, so we keep our Facebook events up to date. That's going to be the biggest one. We typically have that linked into our website, and that's all Island City Brew, either islandcitybrew.com or Island City Brewing Company on Facebook. those are going to be the most consistent ways to find out what we're doing.
Lacrosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you'd like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at Lacrosse Local. Find out more about us at lacrosselocal.com, and you can subscribe to the Lacrosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We appreciate it.